read a lot of books about psychology and do several conclusions. And my conclusion is that I do not believe to psychologists. Why I don't believe in psychologists? It's very interesting. You know, I read a lot of books about famous psychologists and about their life. It's not the first case when the slogan does not correspond to reality. Dale Carnegie, author of a book How to Find Friends and Influence People, died alone. The famous psychologist. Okay, next, Benjamin Spock, the author of the bestseller The Child and Care of Him. His own son wanted to take him to a nursing home. I think nature, because all people have different horizon on life, different character. I don't believe in depression, in psychology, in love. Due to their imaginations, the problem becomes deeper. And I think find your mistakes, analyze them again, and solve them. That's all. I can advise for people who have a very big stress. I think he should tell all his problem to his friend, and it can help him to relax.
How do I understand the psychology? And do we need it? Of course we need it, because with psychology we can solve the problems, emotional one, and psychology helps us most of the ways. Because without psychology, I guess everything would be like animal solved. Really, like we were fighting and against each other, we cannot solve the problem, just the simplest one. And even if we talk to people about the problem, it's psychology. What makes the way we are? Of course, it's nature, because we spend a lot of time with our friends, because we learn from our friends some hobbies or something that they know, they share their knowledge. It's not about our character, it's always about the people who are talking to. If you're in bad community and you're like being friends for 3 years, you will have bad habits. If you are in guitar group, for example, and you are friends like almost 3 weeks, you will be interested in learning how to play guitar. So how do I deal with stress? You know, the stress is very thing, because it's so problematic how to explain it. But the stress, I deal with it like listening to music. It's almost always helped me. Dancing, it's very important for me, because without dancing I cannot share the angriest to my friends, for example. Sometimes the studying process being so stressful, and yeah, only listening music, being with myself, single, like for the home, yeah, and with my love. Of course, they need to study psychology. They must go to their psychological therapist who can help them with their social problems, with their mind problems. If they have, like, for example, maybe one person can be single in whole group, like he don't have friends, and it's also really have a way to our psychology. And of course, they have to go to psychologists and solve their problems.
First of all, psychology is the study about human soul. Psychology study everything what makes person think or experience any emotions or feelings. Definitely yes, we should study psychology. First of all, it gives us a great chance to better understand ourselves. Then we can work through our fears, doubts, and to develop the necessary qualities for the harmony in our life. Another point is that psychology is very useful because it helps us to better understand and communicate with each other. I suppose if there are no upbringing in our life, nature influences a person. However, from the very beginning of our life, upbringing plays a vital role in formation a person's personality. As we grow older, we become more aware of who we are and what's right and what's wrong. There are several ways how I deal with stress. Sometimes I go to specialists, and sometimes I turn to my friends and ask them for help. Nonetheless, the better solution for me, how I can deal with stress, is to stay alone for some time with a cup of coffee and a book in a cozy room in order to refresh my mind. I believe that people should go to psychologists not only when they're depressed or stressed. It also can be desired to become better and better understand yourself. There are some beliefs that only weak people turn to psychologists, but it's not like that. I think that people who turn to an expert have the great inner strength, since admitting that they have a problems and start to deal with them is complicated. Psychology deal with healthy people. They do not solve their problem. They give the recommendations so that the client himself solves them.